I just like the sound.
I had to get it 100 nights. I had to go get a better price. I had to fight like 100 nights. War never, I did 100 nights. You think you cool with 100 likes? You think it's cool for 100 nights? This year I'm taking 100 flights. I mean good for 100 nights. I had to get it 100 nights. I had to get it 100
remember, repeat.
Y'all know what come first in this show. We definitely showing love. If y'all know my body, y'all know we showing some love on this show. Shout outs to Doc Spills and Iron Mastery Academy. Like I told you, they making trading simple. Learning how to invest by just simply matching your colors. You match your colors and you win trades, man. I'm telling you guys, this is simple. And I think this is what we all should be getting into as far as managing our own money and managing our own finances.
This only here for the Titans. Big buyers, only big buying. Big fish scale, no shrimp flying. Denzel movie, bullets flying, but they miss by them. Dropping fluids, don't slip by them. Yeah.
Surround your mind with greatness. Some of it will rub off. This is my office. This is where I start my day. And every day I read something. Form a habit of reading every day. It's about Proctor.
Oh, and like, I love what you're doing as far as the read, remember, repeat, because that's imperative, man. A lot of times, including myself, when I first started getting back into reading.
And always, 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 family, remember this. Read, remember, and repeat.
Oh,
all
man,
you have to do is
that, man. Big Mitch, man, thank you.
Hope everybody had a fantastic day. And this is the night session. Black shirt, night session. White shirt, morning session, right? And y'all know we at read, remember, repeat. Like I said, chapter 3, we went through the meaning of faith. Chapter 4, we are on the 30 personality traits, and we got through most of them. If you didn't catch it, go to the last episode, get the knowledge, get the source, and it'll help you, right? It'll help you gain some new ideas. But this is nothing new. Y'all know what's going on with the show. Tap into the other books that we did. But without further ado, I'm going to jump right in. I think we're on 29 and 30. So let's go. The ability to shake hands properly. Many people might never think of handshaking as having anything to do with a pleasing personality, but in fact, it has a great deal to do with this subject. The person who shakes hands properly coordinates his handshake with his words of greeting, generally emphasizing each word with a firm grip of the hand, not a vice-like squeeze, and does not release the other person's hand until he finishes the spoken greeting. Personal magnetism is 30. Let's frankly admit it at the outset that personal magnetism is a very polite way of describing sex emotion. For that is precisely what it means. Sex emotion is the power behind all creative vision. It is the means by which all living species are perpetuated. It inspires the use of the imagination, enthusiasm, and personal initiative. There has never been born a great leader in any calling who was not motivated in part by the creative powers of sex emotion. A man's personality is his greatest asset of his greatest liability. Excuse me, guys. That was a blooper, but I'm so sorry. A man's personality is his greatest asset or his greatest liability, for it embraces everything that he controls. His mind, body, and soul. A man's personality is the man himself. It shapes the nature of his thoughts, his deeds, and his relationships with others, and establishes the boundaries of the space that he occupies in the world. Visualize yourself as a loving friend to everyone, radiating warmth, affection, and friendship. You are genuinely interested in them and their welfare. Now repeat these words 10 times. I like people and I radiate warmth and friendship to all. I like people and I radiate warmth and friendship to all. I like people and I radiate warmth and friendship to all. I like people and I radiate warmth and friendship to all. I like people and I radiate warmth and friendship to all. I like people and I radiate warmth and friendship to all. I like people and I radiate warmth and friendship to all. I like people and I radiate warmth and friendship to all. I like people and I radiate warmth and friendship to all. I like people and I radiate warmth and friendship to all. Chapter 5, Going the Extra Mile. I'm going to make a promise to you who study this chapter and puts its principle into practice as a matter of habit. If you will immediately start rendering more and better service than that for which you are presently paid, you will be rewarded in several different definite ways. Number 1, you will sooner or later receive compensation far exceeding the actual value of the service you render. 2, in addition to this material gain, you will exhibit greater strength of character in other ways. 3, you will find that it is easier for you to maintain a positive mental attitude at all times. 4, you will experience the thrill of new and stronger convictions of courage and self-reliance, new surges of the self-starting power of personal initiative, and an energizing influx of vital enthusiasm. Finally, you will find that there is a permanent market for your services, and because of your reputation, you will not be out of a job. Does this sound to you like a big order for one chapter to deliver? True enough, it is a big order, but the power behind this strategic principle can fill the order and give you extra measure as well. This principle was observed and condemned upon hundreds of years before the dawn of the Christian era, but one of the most classic expressions of it appears in the essay entitled Compensation by Ralph Waldo Emerson. There is rather subtle but powerful something connected with the observance of this principle, which must be sensed or felt or discerned intuitively. The degree to which you are able to capture this attitude will determine your success in achieving the promises made above. One thing I mean by going the extra mile is, don't wait for people to tell you to do something, because that takes a lot of the kick out of doing it. Tell yourself to jump in and do it. If you have the right attitude and the right things you do for people, you will be successful in putting them under obligation. If you don't have the right attitude, they will suspect you for something, dislike you, and find an excuse for not reciprocating. Family, it is source time, and after this source, we'll be right back.
I often get asked, why should I read more? Why would I bother reading a book when I can just watch a video summary of it? It's true, you can save some time this way, and there is nothing wrong with that. However, reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body, and you can't train your body by just watching YouTube videos. So let's get straight to the facts. Reading improves your focus and concentration. Reading, much like running or listening to music, can be a form of meditation. With all the distractions nowadays, people have really big problems with concentrating. Don't be one of them. In a single 5-minute span, the average person will divide their time between working on a task, checking email, chatting with a couple of people and using their smartphone. This type of behavior causes stress levels to rise and lowers our productivity. When you read a book, all your attention is focused on the story. The rest of the world is closed off and you immerse yourself in every fine detail you're absorbing. Try reading for 15 to 20 minutes before work and you'll be surprised at how much more focused you are once you get to the office. It's also a great relaxation technique. Have you ever felt so tense to the point you dreamt of escaping your life for a while? Surprise! You actually can. You don't need a plane ticket to the other side of the globe. A great book can take you all the way to another dimension. Many people overthink their problems when all they need is a break, so that they could go back to searching for a solution with a clear, relaxed mind. So you're stressed out? Then pick up the goddamn book. Research conducted in 2009 show that reading is the most effective way to overcome stress, beating out old favorites such as listening to music, enjoying a cup of tea or coffee, or even taking a walk. Measured by evaluating heart rate and muscle tension, it took the study participants just 6 minutes to relax once they started turning pages. So when you lose yourself in a book, you can simply forget all your daily worries. That's assuming you aren't forced to read and aren't reading any heavy texts like legal papers. Scientific studies show that reading actually makes you smarter. Your body needs movement, that means your brain needs movement as well, and reading is the best workout for your mind. It's demanding in a neurological way, plus it requires concentration and intellectual activity. Mental stimulation can slow down the process of dementia and Alzheimer's disease, keeping your brain sharp as you age. Reading is healthy, just like a morning run, so find time for it. Also, everything you read fills your head with new bits of information, and you never know when it might come in handy. The more knowledge you have, the better equipped you are to tackle any challenge you'll ever face. Additionally, if you ever find yourself in dire circumstances, remember that although you might lose everything else, your job, your possessions, your money, even your health, your knowledge can never be taken from you. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and
we are back, family. There is no better place to start this discussion than by showing how nature herself forces every living creature to observe this principle or perish, except humans. Humans of all creatures have the right of choice either to disobey the law and suffer the consequences or obey the law and reap the rewards. You will find that Mother Nature goes the extra mile in everything she does. She doesn't create just barely enough of each genus or species to get by. She produces an overabundance to take care of all emergencies that arise and still have enough left to guarantee the perpetuation of each form of life. Each spring, look at the blooms on the fruit trees. Here, nature makes allowances for the winds and storms and unusual frost that may destroy many of the blooms by having enough blooms left to produce a crop of fruit. There, you see, nature does go the extra mile, simply by producing an abundance of blooms, which attract the bees. The bees go the extra mile by rendering their services before they are compensated. The result is the production of fruit and the perpetuation of the bees. Here are two very important laws. They are important because they deal with your life and the things with which you would become familiar. One is the law of compensation. The other, the law of increasing returns. Mankind depends for its very life upon the operation of these two laws. For if the farmer did not comply with them, he could produce no food. Let's take a look at the farmer. See how he must necessarily observe these laws of life, plus the principle of going the extra mile, whether he consciously recognizes it or not. First, the farmer must clear the soil of trees and shrubs. Then he must plow, harrow, and fertilize where necessary. After this, he must sow the soil with seed. He must mix intelligence with his labor, observing the proper season of the year for planting. The correct method of crop culture and the right irrigation and cultivation techniques. If the farmer has performed his labor intelligently, nature will reward him through the law of compensation, by which she neither permits any living thing to get something for nothing, nor allows any form of labor to go unrewarded. This law assures the return of the seed that has been planted, but with the return of the seed alone, nothing would have been gained by the process, and no food could be produced for man or beast. No, there must be another law operating at the same time. We call it the law of increasing returns, for there is an increase in the amount produced. Nature gives back to the farmer the seed he planted in the ground, plus a margin of many times the amount of seed as his reward for having done more than he was temporarily paid for. Everywhere and in everything may be seen the law of action and reaction in operation. Nature's budget is always balanced, Everything has its opposite equivalent in something else, positive and negative. In every unit of energy, day and night, hot and cold, summer and winter, good and bad, up and down, success and failure, sweet and sour, happiness and misery, the pendulum swings back the same distance that it swings forward. So it is in human relationships and in the rendering of personal service. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. A man should remember that the kind of seed he sows is very important, because every seed of service yields a harvest after its own kind. As I pointed out in the chapter on definiteness of purpose, man has absolute right of control over nothing else but the power of thought, which indicates that it must be his most valuable asset. Through the exercise of this divine gift, man has a voluntary avenue of approach to infinite intelligence, which means that he can place the forces of the entire universe behind his plans and behind his purpose. After letting the tremendous idea sink in a while, I should enumerate some of the more useful and important of the special benefits that are available to man, if he will apply this principle. You might consider these items a sort of catalog of reasons for going the extra mile. Here they are. 1. Going the extra mile places the law of increasing returns in back of your activities. This means that the quality and quantity of the services you give will come back to you greatly multiplied. You recall the story of the farmer and the grain of wheat that he plants as seed. If you render service that is worth $100, the chances are that eventually you will get back not only that 100, but 10 times that amount if you render the service with the right mental attitude. Sometimes your increased return may not come back in dollars at all, but in increased opportunity for you to get ahead through promotion or in making new friends. As you might have suspected, there is a converse to this law of going the extra mile. If you neglect to go the extra mile or don't even go the first mile, if you go after your service with a rather negative attitude in order to get an immediate compensation, the chances are that the law of diminishing returns will come into play, and you'll get back very much less when your grudging effort was worth, or possibly you will get back nothing at all. 2. The habit of doing more than you are paid for causes you to benefit by the law of compensation, through which no act or no deed will or can be expressed without an equivalent reaction after its own kind to get appreciable results. This rule must be a habit applied at all times in all positive ways. You must render the greatest amount of service of which you are capable, and render it in a friendly, positive manner. This principle of doing more than you are paid for operates for the benefit of the employer who applies it, just as well as it does for the benefit of the employee. It would be just as unwise for an employer to withhold from an employee any portion of the wages he has justly earned as it would be for an employee to do less than he is paid to do. Here is the fine point most people tend to overlook. Until a man begins to render more service than he is paid for, he is already receiving full pay for what he does. Wow. The sad fact is that 98 out of our 100 wage earners have no definite purpose greater than that of working for a daily wage. Therefore, no matter how much work they do or how well they do it, the wheel of fortune turns past them without giving them more than a bare living, because they neither expect nor demand more. Family, that right there was too much sauce, right? On top of the sauce that we got in the middle of the show. And read, remember, repeat, man. Napoleon Hill's philosophy is success.
100 nights, you think you're cool with 100 likes. You think it's cool for 100 nights. This year I'm taking 100 flights. I'm eating good for 100 nights. Peach cobbler, sweet potato pop on the side of a lobster. Big money, we mobsters. Big money, we monsters. Big talk for the big walkers. 100 bands for a slick talker. Big ocean, big walk. It's presidential, the outcome evidential. We strive for higher mental. This time no accidental. We shine because we special. No Kim, Kali, or Kendall. The others, I ain't forget you. Some stories just isn't mental. I'm loving this instrumental, ayy. I write my life down with a pencil, ayy. Never paid attention, but I should've. Never finished blocks. The shorty just got shot outside of the sandbox. It ain't inspiring. Product of the environment. Tired of seeing these niggas dying. Mothers and fathers crying. We all hear the iron. Did you hear it too? Or maybe this one, it ain't meant for you. I think about now and when I'm finished too. I think about mind, body, and spiritual. Like leaving something going, you still feel it too. And writing these bars, know what I finna do. Put it on the wall and laugh about how we did it too. I'm praying all the good for you. But dog, I don't really know what's good for you. But listen to the end of you and don't believe in difficult. Focus on the visual, I swear we going digital. Bitcoin rising, this shit is visible. If you listen to those raps, this shit is minimal. Unless you out here trying to be a criminal. Most of the shit is taken from us, it ain't additional. No broken bones, but this medicinal loud. I get the feeling that you wishing you could go get it now. Everybody that's around start to look like a crowd. You gotta look inside yourself and start from the ground. Analyze who is there and analyze who is not. I ain't talking about family, I ain't talking about the block. I'm talking about you and everything that you got. The conductor of the train, the only one to make it stop. And the pilot on the plane, the only one to make it hop. That's when I found out it was cream in the crops. I'm on my way to the top, and now I'm getting a lot. Push foreigns off of the lot, dividing them into lots. I look like I hit a lot. We turning up on the yacht, we shining a billion watts. We tying a trillion knots. They trying to boycott, they won with the boycott. Damn. Ha.